Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am Chris, your host, and I am so glad that you guys are here. Do you have a credit card strategy for your retirement plan? No? Why, I thought that was all the big deal these days. Credit card strategy for retirement. Well, okay, let's just remember that retirement is a place and time in your life, and it doesn't necessarily come at a certain age. Nor does it mean that once you retire, you can't unretire, right? But how many of us have ever thought that, gee, I think I need to have credit card strategies for my retirement time frame? Now, by that I mean, well, if you have like normal Americans, shall I say, between 1 and 5 credit cards, it's likely that you charge just about everything on your credit cards. Gas for your car, parking for sporting events if you go to an NFL game or something like that, shoes for the kids, restaurant meals out with the family on Friday or Saturday, takeaway at lunchtime during the week when you're at work and you just don't have time to sit down and eat, right? But have you ever thought that maybe you could fund part of your retirement with your credit card spending? No? Well, we're going to talk about that for just a few minutes in today's video. Now, that's not to say that everybody should go out and get 10 credit cards, because that's not what the purpose of this video is. What the purpose of this video is to let you know that there are occasions, and it is obviously, it's going to be dependent on you as an individual and as a family and your current situation. Whether or not you should even have credit cards that you put massive spend on every month anyway. But I will tell you, if you're like the typical person I described a moment ago, where you don't carry cash, everything is put on a credit card and you pay it off at the end of the month, hopefully, because that's the right way to use credit cards. If you're going to charge something, charge it, but at the end of every month, at the beginning of the next billing cycle, you need to pay that totally off so that you don't have any interest that you owe the credit card companies, right? Right. So what I'm talking about is where you will have credit cards where you are provided rewards. And rewards, by rewards, I mean rewards for the spending that you do each time you charge your restaurant meal or your new pair of shoes for your growing teenager, etc. By rewards, I mean points and miles, okay, particularly. But that's not to say that you shouldn't consider also cash back cards where they don't give you points and miles. They actually pay you a certain percentage back at the end of each billing cycle for the dollars that you spend on that credit card. There are some folks who prefer cash back as opposed to points and miles. Cash back is going to be a set amount. Your points and miles are a set amount, but points and miles do on occasion get devalued by the hotels and the airlines that you get those points and miles from. So if you've got 50,000 points built up with United Airlines through their credit card, and you go to cash those out, the valuation today will be a certain amount off of your next airline ticket with that airline. 6 months from now, it may be less, because airlines do have a tendency, as I say, as well as hotels, they have a tendency to, over a period of time, devalue the amount that those points are actually worth for your usage, right? Okay. So let's talk about this, because if you work the strategy right for retirement and the use of your credit cards, if you spend a lot every month on those expenditures that we've already described, the chances are very good that those points can accumulate, and you can use those points in the future for airline tickets to a spot of your vacation desire, hotels once you get there, rental cars, concert tickets. There's any number of different types of rewards that you can use those points and miles from, or towards, I should say. Now, for everybody's recollection, there are three major credit card players in the United States, and that's Capital One, Chase, and American Express. There are lots of credit card issuing companies and institutes or institutions. There's credit unions, there's banks, there's grocery stores, department stores, online businesses such as Amazon. I think you can even get one from Yahoo these days. Now, that being said, if you're interested in doing something like that, let's look at an example really quick. So, if you sign up for a credit card with, let's say, Chase, and Chase says that if we qualify you for this credit card, we're going to give you a sign-up bonus or a sub, okay? Now that might be 75,000 points or miles, as the case may be, whichever credit card you get. And those points can be used in the future for redemption through their portal, for flights, rental cars, hotel stays, concert tickets, various things of that nature, okay? Those are the major ones that people look at. You can even get cash back if you prefer, but the valuation of those through the portal is not as much, okay? Now, in order to get that sign-up bonus, however, they typically would let you spend as much as you normally would spend during that first 3 months period, and hopefully that would equate to whatever the minimum spend is by their rules at that time. So it could be that at that particular time, that credit card that you're signing up for and have been approved for requires you to spend $5,000 in the first 3 months. If you're going to spend $5,000 in that first 3 months, normally that's fine, that's great, and you will likely get that sign-up bonus. If, however, in that first 3 months you typically would only spend $3,000, it may not be a good idea for you to just go out and spend another $2,000 or double what you would normally spend on stuff just to get the sign-up bonus. Because again, that places you in a position where you aren't going to be comfortable. And if you're going to play the game, so to speak, as the saying goes in the credit card and point game, you need to be comfortable with what you're spending and not go out of your way to spend extra just to meet that sign-up bonus. Throw on top of that the fact that that credit card may have an annual fee. Annual fees can be anywhere from $49 to the moon. And when I say the moon, I mean they're $795 for a year to have a card, which if you're not going to use the rewards and the benefits of having it, it may not be the right choice for you. There are plenty of cards that will give you various levels and types of rewards and through points and miles and cash back that have no annual fee or a very low annual fee. Again, some as low as $49, some for $0 a year, others for $95, maybe $150. Those are ones that you could potentially get cash back or points and miles, which you can use at a later date without, going bonkers when it comes to trying to figure out how am I going to pay this bill off next month because I spent just enough to get my sign-up bonus, okay? Sometimes it's just not worth the squeeze for the lemon, okay? Likewise, there are, again, cashback cards where you don't necessarily have to pay anything. And again, there are plenty of cards that you can get points and miles from as well. and you don't necessarily have to pay an annual fee. Now, that being said, if you choose a card, regardless of whether there's an annual fee or not, I hope that you're looking at what those rewards are. Understand what the rewards are in the terms of points, miles, cash back. Some cards will give you a free check bag at the airport when you go to check in with your airline for a flight. Others give you lounge access at the airports if there is a lounge that is affiliated with your airline that you're flying on that day. Of course, there are restrictions, like you can't go into the lounge more than 3 hours prior to your flight, things of that nature. They'll give you TSA PreCheck reimbursement for signing up for TSA PreCheck or Clear. Again, sometimes it's not worth the squeeze if you're not going to fly but once a year, and waiting in line for a few extra minutes isn't necessarily worth you to go and get a credit card that's got an annual fee, plus you're going to have to pay for the difference in what they're giving you to pay for your Clear or your TSA PreCheck if it doesn't cover the full amount. Again, you have to know what your situation is, and you have to look and find out whether or not the benefits or the rewards that card provides you are the ones that you particularly will find useful. Okay, not everything is gonna be useful to you. It's just kind of the way things are. Now, that being said, how does that get you a better retirement? Because it's kind of what the whole premise of this video is about. Well, if you accumulate your points, your miles, your cash back over a period of time, and let's just say that you earn 10,000 points a month, in a year's time, well, 120,000 points doesn't seem like a lot. But if you've always had a dream vacation to some of the more exotic places in the world, like say Vietnam or Thailand or Bali or someplace like that, you might find that for a fairly low amount of points, you could stay in a very nice hotel. And I don't mean just a mom and pop hotel, I mean a branded hotel, Marriott, an IHG hotel, a Sheraton perhaps. Those branded hotels in the United States are going to be on the low end, probably $100+ per night. You're looking at probably 30 to 40,000 points a night. So that 120,000 points for a hotel here in the States isn't going to go very far. But in certain other locations around the world, places that have beautiful beaches, blue, gorgeous, warm water to swim in, things like that, you might find hotels as low as 3,000 points per night. So that 120,000 points goes much, much further in overseas locations. Now, if you go through your credit card's portal and book your flights, you are just as likely to get additional rewards for doing that, even if you charge it on that specific charge card. You will likely also find that you get benefits such as lounge access at the hotel if they have a lounge. Managers' receptions where there's food and drink and things of that nature as well. Call it a light supper if you want. And so there are lots of opportunities that if you play your credit card strategy properly, you can do some really interesting things in retirement. So, you know, we've talked a lot on the channel about ways to fund your retirement, and those include, you know, your IRAs, your traditional, your SEP IRAs, your Roth IRAs, regular brokerage accounts where you're saving money on a periodic basis or dollar cost averaging into that mutual fund that you've chosen for yourself, and you're investing your money towards the ultimate goal of a comfortable retirement. It doesn't matter where you live that retirement. It can be overseas, it can be in your host country, if that's the United States or Britain or wherever. But in looking at those types of things, there are lots of things that can come into play, and credit card strategies are just one of them. Now, if you're interested in finding out more about that and the way the credit card game is playing or played, I'm not going into it in this video because there are YouTube channels where there are literally people with hundreds of videos on the credit card game strategy. Not geared towards retirement per se, but how to maximize your points and miles, how to maximize your cash back to go towards those trips, those flights, things of that nature. But what I'm telling you is, don't discount the ability to accumulate points and miles and your cash back, not just for your next favorite vacation, but for a way to pay for a part of your retirement as well. It can be very important. It can give you some aspirational travel capabilities that maybe you necessarily wouldn't otherwise have. And you may also find that by having some of these credit cards, you get certain elevated or elite statuses, which while here in the United States may not mean that much at various hotels, but if you go to a similar branded hotel overseas, there aren't as many people that will have that type of status, because they don't typically have the credit cards overseas that we would have here in the United States, that you can get that elevated status simply by paying $95 and getting that credit card. Overseas, people that live there, they don't have the credit cards necessarily from those hotel brands, as an example, IHG. If you get the Premier card with them here in the States, you get, elite status right up front. If you go overseas, you're going to be one of maybe only a handful of people that some of those hotels may ever have dealt with before, because they don't see people with that type of status level coming through their hotels. So it can give you a lot of additional benefits simply because of that. And again, that's not even to mention that you potentially can save money from your credit card for your first or second check bag for you and whomever might be traveling with you. That in itself is a pretty significant savings when you're looking at 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks per bag at check-in. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. It's been a little thought-provoking to you, and perhaps even provided a nugget of information that you can take with you and maybe do your own research, because again, purpose is not to give you financial advice or tax advice here on the channel, only to get a conversation started. And likewise, if you've got comments or something along those lines, you can always put them in the comment section and I'll respond back to you. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. You will consider going back and looking at some of the other videos, liking them. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to make videos and talk about various subjects about finances, retirement, the freedom that all of that can bring to you. But I thought that this was a little bit timely because we're approaching the middle of the year. There are some pretty substantial sign-up bonuses on various credit cards right now through the big three, Chase, Capital One, and American Express. So if you're interested, by all means, go take a look at those. I think you might find at least one that could provide some level of reward to you that you might find beneficial for your next trip or your next vacation. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and we'll be around for the next one. So take care and have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening.